to choose between a funeral with my ex or a wedding with my current girlfriend. Who should I pick? And this is OKOP, where we read the craziest true stories on earth. I'm John, and Sam, who should they pick?
Choose the living, OP. Choose the living.
And this comes from Character Jaguar 3037. They say, I, male 25, am in a relationship with my girlfriend, Amelia, female 26, for 2 years. She is wonderful. We live together, and I think we are close to engagement.
How long has it been again?
2 years.
2 years. That's about, yeah, that makes sense.
I think it feels good. In the past, I was in a relationship with my ex, Julia, 25 female. We met in high school and had a very passionate relationship for 5 years, but it didn't work.
I'm sure your fiance loves hearing about that.
Super
It
passionate.
was so passionate. I've never felt such passion.
In the end, it got quite heated between us, even with her parents. So we blocked each other. My ex Julia had a brother Dan, 2 years younger, and we always shared a special bond. Like me, my ex's brother Dan wanted to become a doctor, and I helped him with medical school.
Like pay or with educational?
I'm gonna guess educational until we have more context.
I'm guessing that too.
That would be crazy.
Also,
though.
it's kind of rough to have your brother be best friends with your ex. Like, I can't. If Sophia was best friends with my exes, I would be sad.
That is, yeah.
One of my cousins went to one of my ex's weddings.
And how was it?
He's a fucking traitor.
Burn him at the stake.
No, it's fine. It's just weird.
It's all good. It's all good. It's not good. It's not okay. Even after the breakup, we stayed close. My ex Julia and their parents were not aware, and he was definitely important to me, almost like my younger brother.
Oh, okay, cool. So they had that kind of relationship.
Unfortunately, my ex's brother Dan had a car crash and passed away just last week.
Tragic.
I didn't know until my ex Julia came to my house to announce it 2 days ago, and I am absolutely devastated.
Wait, his ex came to announce the brother's death at his house?
I guess so, which...
Is that something you do when someone dies? I mean, maybe if they're really close. I guess
really
they might
close.
have been very,
imagine
very
your
close.
best friend died. It's like the sibling might be like, hey, you
do
were
it
close.
by text.
Yeah,
you're close enough for a house visit.
That's kind of fair. She apologized because she wasn't aware that Dan and I were still close. She also thanked me for being there for him when he was fighting depression, and that all her family would like to see me at his funeral next Sunday in their hometown. I mean, that's pretty big.
That's big.
I replied that I wasn't sure if I could come because I'm running low on money at the moment and my car will be at the mechanics. It's a 7-hour drive away.
That is
pretty big trip.
A long time.
She said that she could drive me there, but she had to be there 2 days earlier to help out with the organization. I said that I will think about it. We exchanged numbers and hugged. She cried a little and said she was sorry for all the things of the past and was happy to see me again.
Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Wedding Crashers?
Nope.
They said the only place easier to pick up people than a wedding is a funeral.
Oh, wait. Sam, am I sensing a little tinfoil hat conspiracy?
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but it feels like she's kind of leveraging the emotional ebbs and flows of this death in the family to maybe hook OP into a relationship again.
Or a potentially...
Or she doesn't even know, but like 2 days with each other.
Exactly, yeah. I think like... And maybe it's totally...
Maybe it's totally fine. I'm just...
subconscious.
It's a conspiracy, guys. It's a conspiracy. I'm conspirizing right now, but I feel like funerals, very emotional time. All these emotions bubbling up, love, sadness. You're together. You just traveled super long, 7 hours away. I don't know.
Well, how about this? A little less malicious. She's just like, I need support from people who know me, period.
Yeah. And they already have history.
And maybe somewhere down the line, feelings evolve. And even though it might not be her conscious intention.
I don't think it's her conscious intention. But I'm put an I see you in the chat if you think you see what's coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, tinfoil. We're still in tinfoil.
We're
crazy,
still
wild speculation.
Land. We're conspiracy land. No red flags or anything. We're just in conspiracy land.
Yes.
I'm just conspirizing.
But taking off the tinfoil hat, Sam, I have a pretty wild next part for you right now. My girlfriend Amelia comes home at this very moment.
Yikes. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
I mean, just imagine the odds, and a worse time, you really can't do it. And I explained the situation when my ex Julia left. Amelia already knew about my past relationship with Julia and my friendship with her brother Dan.
Okay.
My girlfriend Amelia told me that I wouldn't be able to go at funeral because the wedding of her sister is the same day and we both agreed to go.
Oh. This feels like an unstoppable force next to an immovable object. And it almost feels like a similar order of magnitude in terms of importance. But one is negative and one is positive.
I don't know. Put in the comments right now if you're leaning.
Oh yeah, funeral or marriage. Put in the comments what you're leaning. I'm leaning funeral. It's definitely not a good look to spend 2 days alone with your ex. If it was my partner and they were doing a 7-hour road trip with their ex, I think I might feel a little bit uncomfortable. I would be a little nervous. I would just be a little uncomfortable. Let us know what you think. Put your answers in the comments, but I'm a little comfortable.
I said that I need a bit of time to proceed on all that.
Facts, dude.
The following morning, I had a very emotional phone call with Dan and Julia's parents. They apologized for the past because remember, he was kind of
he was chewed out. Yeah, he was chewed out.
And they thanked me for being there for Dan. That they would always consider me family from now on. They insisted that they'd like to host me for the funeral to save me the cost. So if it can't get more complicated,
wow,
they will be like, hey, we will
take care of everything.
If that doesn't make the impossible more impossible.
And also, it feels like more and more that OP was extremely important to Dan. Dan's the brother, right?
Exactly.
It feels like it's your soon-to-be wife's sister, but I'm kind of leaning more on the Dan side. It's so complicated. That's the ex.
It's my best friend's funeral. That's something we can't forget because a best friend who is like a brother's funeral
are they not? They're not best friends. I think I think he's choosing the funeral, and I think his current fiance is going to be pissed.
Can I get a drum roll for this reveal? After reflection, even if it sucks for my current girlfriend Amelia and the wedding, and not imagine missing Dan's funeral.
Yep. Right decision. Makes sense.
I talked with my co-residents, the head of the unit, and they're okay with me missing a few days, and they will cover for me. When I told my decision to my girlfriend Amelia yesterday,
she's gonna be pissed.
She blew up and said that I'm a huge dick to ditch her and her family in favor of my ex's family. She said that I committed to the wedding, which remember he had already said
he did.
He would go there, and I couldn't leave her alone to reconnect with my ex.
Valid. I understand. It's valid.
You can't argue with anyone's things and anywhere.
Dude, I would feel so uncomfortable, but he has to go. He's like a brother.
Dude, my girlfriend and I had a big argument and haven't talked much since. I had some messages from her friends and her sister. They said I am a major a-hole for abandoning my girlfriend in favor of my ex. I was sure about doing the good choice, but I'm starting to feel bad and second guess myself. So am I the a-hole? We have a juicy update coming up, but everyone watching right now, and Sam, is OP the a-hole for his decision?
No. But man is given an impossible choice. This is I think this is one of the hardest and most equal choices that I think we've gotten, but it's like a little bit. It's a little bit more in favor. Like a funeral of a brother supersedes a wedding of a sister-in-law.
Yeah, and you can't say it's so bad because you can't even say this, but it's like, listen, if your sister ever gets married again, I'm there.
Showing there.
You know, I'm there and I'm square.
Unless my ex dies.
Oh, God. and it's playing on the same day. Just gotta imagine. I mean, with OP's luck right here, that dang near just could happen. But
it seems like it could be relationship ending.
Here's a question:
What
is Amelia the a-hole for kind of coming at OP and not being more empathetic? Right?
He just had someone close to him die.
I think Amelia,
she's the a-hole a little bit.
Yeah. Like I could understand it's Amelia's sister's wedding, right? I could understand the sister and other people not understanding, but your own partner, the person that's supposed to be your rock and your support, not giving you some empathy. I could totally see her setting boundaries.
Yes. Dead Dan deserves your presence.
Are you ready to find out how uncomfortable it actually is going to be?
Oh man, I'm squirming in my seat right now. Let's go.
Update. Nearly 4 months later.
Prediction?
Uh-oh. We got to go back.
They broke up.
Let's see. After intense reflection, I decided to stick with my prior engagement and go to the wedding.
I did not see that coming.
He switched it up.
I did not see that coming.
I called my ex Julia to briefly explain the situation, and I also called her parents to apologize and tell them that I'll come to pay my respects to them and to Dan's grave once I get my car back. And they were very understanding.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, God, gravy. My girlfriend Julia was still mad at me though.
Why? Oh, for even considering leaving?
She blamed me for being tempted by Julia and her family again after the wedding for pulling the long face. I was still very hurt by Dan's death. So yeah, I wasn't at my best.
Bro, this girl is so unempathetic.
Do I feel
You know what I feel? You know what I'm feeling right now? A red flag. Why are you thinking about proposing to this dumbass, heartless bitch?
Tell how you really feel, Sam.
Red flag, baby. Red flag all the way.
Yeah.
Break up with her.
You know, maybe get back with the ex?
Yeah, dude.
Our relationship was really going sour. I felt like she wasn't supporting me while I was grieving my friend, but she wasn't on the same page. I started to see a new side of her, and perhaps we weren't meant to be.
That's what it seems like. Sucks to find out this way, though.
After another argument, we broke up. It's over.
Called it.
It's
My
done.
conspiracy theory was correct.
1 to 2 weeks after the wedding, she tried to salvage our relationship, but the damage was permanent.
It sucks he didn't get to go to Dan's funeral.
Right? Oh,
It's like all for naught.
Oh, all for nothing. At this point, I was at my lowest, totally devastated. In just a few weeks, I had lost my friend and my relationship. I was in a really bad place. A few days after, I got my car back. Luckily, it was a minor issue. It didn't cost me that much. Once I got a weekend off, I visited Dan's grave and his parents. They gifted me his stethoscope. It meant a lot to me because he helped him become a doctor. Wow. My ex Julia was also there, and we all remembered our memories with Dan. Very nice and emotional moments. I felt very bad about missing the funeral, but his family convinced me that what mattered was how I was present for him during his life. After that trip, I started to hang out with my ex Julia again. Do we have put an ICU in the comments if you see what's coming?
I'm seeing OP coming.
It just happened naturally. Even after several years, I have to admit that we still have a deep bond. Nothing romantic though. We are both grieving Dan, and I just ended my relationship with Amelia.
I have to imagine that things are going to rekindle long term.
Yeah.
Though. Smart to not have anything physical happen or romantic happen initially,
Yes.
but I can see these feelings growing.
Easily could happen, right? We both agreed that rushing into a relationship would be a bad idea.
Oh, so they already talked about it. So there's interest.
Currently, we are enjoying spending time as friends, but at least they're like, I think they're kind of like being preemptive, like, hey, our relationship in general as friends is growing. Let's make sure we're even
push the brakes. Yeah.
I had almost no contact with Amelia since the breakup, probably for the best. I was quite bitter at one point, wondering how I went from thinking to propose to her to breaking up with her in just a few weeks. But with time, I got closure. The past is the past, and now I look to the future with hope and optimism. That is the end of our first story.
I mean, crazy story to start on. It's crazy how like a ex's brother, it's crazy how choosing between a funeral and a marriage can make like why you need to break up so crystal clear. Because you're essentially your ex is saying, no, you don't deserve to have a closure on that relationship because it surrounds your ex. There were like, even if he was going to his ex's funeral, I feel like that would be okay too.
Yeah, again, like the whole like the funeral it only happens once kind of thing. And like this one kind of sucked with the travel and everything. But in an ideal world, you try to make a little bit of both. I don't know. But I think there's a big question in my mind that I want everyone watching right now and you, Sam, to answer. Should OP get back with Julia? Should he do it?
I mean, it feels like they worked through a lot of the stuff. It feels like maybe a lot of the reasons that they did break up have been worked through.
Resolved, maybe?
I wouldn't be mad if it happened.
Wouldn't be mad, right?
I wouldn't be mad, but you know what I am mad about?
What?
The fact that this is story number 5 of our craziest, worst breakups. And we have 4 more.
I think we got to get into them then.
Let's do it. Today I effed up by eating popcorn before my first date.
Is that an F up?
Carrie Winspace says, I love popcorn. I eat it like daily, sometimes a couple times a day. So I had a date with this lady and she was a real pretty thing, but you could tell she was kind of energetic, a little bit anxious and bouncy. Let's call her anxiety. To counter that, I made our first date have some activities like walking, bowling, etc. after a movie. On the day of our date, I wake up and run my typical morning routine. I make myself a huge bowl of popcorn and melt a bunch of butter over it. For breakfast?
That's your morning routine, bro?
I guess so. After a little while, I spruce myself up a little and head up to the theater. It feels like you're waking up at like 5 p.m., bro. Anxiety had already driven up to the theater and was waiting for me, but no issues. Got out of the car and ran up to give me a quick hug. That's when things went sideways.
Ooh.
Not the hug, her face.
Oh.
So you already went on a date? Anxiety says plainly, more of an accusation than a question. What? Huh? I respond very confused. I'm not an idiot generic Redditor username. I can tell, she says. What in the hell are you talking about? I responded, sure that she must be kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm done. She groaned, turned around, got back in the car and left.
Dang!
I decided to sit in the theater for a bit since I had already bought the tickets. I chill in the recreational area as I tried to process what just happened. And there's more to the story, but what do you think is the reason?
I think that the, would-be date is like, you already got popcorn. You clearly just had a date at the movies.
Yep. And you're just running it back for round 2.
And he's like, babe, it's my morning routine. I swear. Terribly stupid excuse.
I've never heard someone's morning routine starting at 5 p.m. with a bowl of buttery popcorn. Joke about it a bit with a couple of folks while texting her. No response for a few minutes. And then I get this. Guess what? I know you think you're oh so smart or whatever, but I could smell the popcorn. I don't know what kind of idiot you think I am, but I'm not going through this again. Bye. Suddenly, an oh shit moment on my side. I tried explaining things to her, but anxiety immediately blocked me on my texts and my profiles on social media. I never saw or heard from her again. I saw the movie, went home, and dwelled in my life over a bowl of freshly made stove-popped popcorn with extra butter. OP, I think you might have a popcorn problem. You might be too addicted.
Yeah, like that's a lot.
That's a lot of popcorn. And popcorn with butter, it's a little caloric.
Really? I thought, popcorn with butter. It's the butter. I thought popcorn is actually a healthy snack on its own,
fine.
right?
Popcorn's like 0 calories, but with butter,
could be bad. Sophia brought home a bag of popcorn,
and it was delicious.
Was she addicted to popcorn?
I don't know, but maybe I ate popcorn before I asked the bagel girl out on a date, and now she's gonna say no because she's like, you already went on a date.
Oh my God! Wow.
Do you think OP should do anything differently?
I mean, I think OP should stop eating the popcorn, not for this to avoid this scenario, just because why? Why have a morning routine of popcorn?
Morning routine of popcorn is really weird, but now I know that if I want to avoid a breakup, don't eat popcorn.
Honestly,
don't eat popcorn.
Excommunicate popcorn from your diet.
Done.
Just to be safe.
Done.
Just to be safe.
Done. If you're trying to get into a relationship.
Yes, exactly.
But John, that's only number 4 in our journey to find the worst breakups ever. Can you hit me with number 3?
I can. I broke up with my loser boyfriend after he didn't propose for 7 years. Am I the a-hole? Big UC says, I, female 27, have been dating a male 27 for over 7 years. So exactly the scenario Sam just mentioned.
Okay, but I'm almost 27. But seven years. Well, our boy Justin just got married.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was around that time.
But it was before 20. They were in high school.
Yeah, they were in high school.
That I think is a special exception. I've grown tired of waiting for a proposal or even marriage. I want kids soon. He is the love of my life, or so I thought.
Oh no. Oh no.
He was everything and more that I'd ever wished for. Our relationship was great. Sex was great.
Oh.
We are open to disagreements and to suggestions on what we need to work on as a team. We encourage each other on individual growth and goals as well. The breakup was not mutual.
Oh, we're already going to the breakup?
We already are in
What happened? What was the
breakup.
reason? It's going to be terrible. It's going to be, I mean, this isn't the best breakups video.
It's the worst.
This is the worst, and we're on number 3. So hit me with it.
I ended the relationship.
Oh, okay.
He did not see any reason to break up.
Wait, I thought you were just listing everything was fine.
I had a moment of realization.
What?
I love this man, and I see so much progress in our communication and understanding, but I realized this was all he wanted. Living together and being here with no plans for marriage or kids. I want kids, and he has said that he will not have kids out of wedlock. Wait a second. The math ain't math here. Break it down, Sam.
I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married.
Yeah?
And I would totally have kids, but not out of wedlock.
But I can't get married. Sir, make the math.
Man, just checkmated her. That's a little bit of a red flag.
He went on about how he wants to get married before he considers having kids. It's been 7 years, and we have lived together for 5 of the 7 years.
Okay.
I broke up with him and broke our lease, packed up my stuff, and quit my job. I moved out and found a whole new job. I was just so frustrated by the whole situation. He didn't ever plan to be more, and I felt used for wanting and waiting. I was set on living for me and setting my goal on honoring my own personal goals. It's been a few weeks, and I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for breaking up even when things are good? At the time of our breakup, I only saw myself. I only considered myself, and that's what I wanted. I don't want to sit around and try to convince someone to choose me. That's the end of the story, and I think I see what's happening here. OP just reached her expiration limit on how long she was willing to wait for him to be ready to be married.
And it also could just be a thing of like she just wants someone who's a little bit more mature that is ready to take the next step because she is. And maybe he's still kind of stuck in like this college adolescent kind of thing, which a lot, 26, 27-year-old guys, I can attest to may be transitioning in the midst of a transition towards more structured and adult type things.
Moves.
Big boy putting they're putting their big boy pants one pant leg at a time, and sometimes it takes like a couple of years to put on those pants. So
I think walking around pantsless for years.
I've been walking around pantsless for the better part of 2 decades. So this is his wake up call. I think what I've learned from this breakup story is make sure you get married before 7 years.
Yes, there you go.
Because that 7-year itch becomes super itchy after a while.
That's right. Put in the comments for story 3 if you think the boyfriend should try to win her back. I'm curious to hear what you say.
How long is too long before asking to propose? Put your answers in the comments because I kind of need to know.
Me too.
But this is only story number 3 of these worst breakups. I think we need to get into number 2.
Turn up the heat, baby!
Would I be the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend because of his hygiene? I, 24 female, am too damn old for this.
Yeah, woo!
I'm not a clean freak either. I met my boyfriend 6 months ago. He was a little hippie, which I didn't mind. So a little about him. He is a hardcore vegan. He is a hardcore vegan. He is someone you can call an environmentalist. He thinks a lot about the environment. He only buys clothes from shops that are locally owned. He's big on recycling things. He doesn't use toothpaste, but meswak. He is also anti-shave, though he trims his beard. Man is a mountain man. Ever since I was with him, I always had this hunch that he is not washing properly. We do not live together, so I am not at his house. More often. So I am not at his house very often. He always smells like spices, so I had no idea his hygiene was so bad until now. He never shaved down there. I always had this funky smell from his junk. Why are you with this dude, OP? He doesn't have cleaning supplies in his house. I asked him about it, and he said he doesn't use chemicals that will harm the environment. He uses vinegar and lemon to clean stuff. It was odd, but I get it. I let it slide, though it should have been my first red flag. Now, I have come to the last straw. Last night, when I was at his place, I was using the bathroom. after I was done, I didn't see toilet paper. This is the one thing I used to be glad that he kept in the house, though I am someone who prefers a bidet. I asked him to give me some toilet paper because he ran out. He told me he threw away all the toilet rolls because they clog the draining system and go to the ocean, which then causes toxicity in fishes. Plus, it wastes money to make toilet paper. I asked him, then what does he do to wipe himself? He told me he has switched to reusable toilet paper a month ago. He just uses these and throws them in the washing machine.
Wash them every day. Yeah, bro, that ain't it, dog. That ain't it, my guy.
I wanted to vomit right there. I'm thinking about ending things because I cannot deal with this my entire life. Am I wrong? And some people asked in the comments, why is she still with him? And how did she manage? And OP replied, in my defense, he was very good at giving oral. He was more than a giver and never expected me to give him a BJ. I hardly ever did because of the smell. I thought I could handle this. I always wondered why he smells like lemons. I just realized he probably makes his own deodorant with water and lemon juice. But in my defense, he is really, really sweet. He would always feed me with his hands and give me foot massages. Our sex life was amazing. And it could be that all of it is worth this shit. And there is a juicy update.
Oh.
Well, let's see. So, hi, I just wanted you guys to know that I broke up with Mr. Reusable Toilet Paper.
Awesome.
Thank God. I know a lot of us have advised me to talk it through. I realize the issue is not just about the toilet paper, it's everything. I am a bit of an uptight person, but he is not. We are two very different people. Every time I am with him, I always have to eat vegan food in fear that I will offend him. I love meat. Sorry, vegans, but that's just my lifestyle. So I broke it off with him. He was sad. He cried and told me he will never forget me. And I was the one and only person who had spiritual purity in me. I don't know what that means, but it's over. I wish it was over then and there until yesterday when I visited my friend Gabby's house. When she saw me at the door, she looked like a deer in headlights. She is also a bit of a hippie, but nothing like my ex. I noticed there was a strange lemony smell along with weed.
Great.
I saw my ex was high on her couch. He waved hi to me. My friend told me she found him being sad in our usual hangout spot, and he was singing a sad song. They are now sleeping together. Furthermore, they are sleeping together because he needs healing. Apparently, he was very emotional and depressed, so he slept with my friend to cleanse my memories. I am done. I am not mad, but I do not trust Gabby anymore. Fair. She and Mr. Reusable Toilet Paper can live happily ever after with their stinky, unvaccinated babies for all I care. But I am questioning my friendship with Gabby now. I am fine. I feel like I dodged a bullet. I can go back to eating steaks and chicken without worrying. But damn,
Whoa.
Do you think OP dodged a bullet? Put your answers in the comments. But that was a messy breakup. It was already like a little messy and unclean in the initial breakup, but that came out of left.
We got a double breakup out of nowhere, and I think it is all for the better.
I mean, this story was pretty crazy.
Oh.
But I think we need to go to the number one most crazy story. Let's do it!
My boyfriend wants to expose me as a stripper to his parents. Should I abandon him? So this comes from Anonymous. Duration of this relationship, 1 year.
I like how it starts.
I told my boyfriend I wanted to go back to stripping because I did it in college. He lost his job, so the extra income would be very helpful. He wasn't comfortable with it, so we agreed that I could do OnlyFans. A little compromise. We have been on and off recently, and I noticed how angry and immature he acts. One time while we were broken up and sleeping in different rooms, he knocked really hard and demanded to shower in my room. I told him to use the hallway bathroom because he's making me uncomfortable. He wouldn't leave and wouldn't let me close the door. He would also randomly demand to talk to me or follow me around even if I refused. Or if I did try to talk to him, he would just argue with me about how I am wrong. So when we got back together, I told him that I needed him to sign a non-disclosure agreement so that he legally cannot disclose that I have an OnlyFans to anybody. everybody else. His angry and intimidating behavior, his past behavior of telling friends info that I told him in confidence, specifically only during a breakup, concerns me.
Why are you with him?
I reiterated that if my job or family were to find out, it could seriously jeopardize my job and reputation. So that is actually a very important factor here. This isn't her only means of making a living.
Right.
She has a full-time job that could be jeopardized if it's all... Yeah, that's right. She said for extra income.
Is it worth it?
He refused and subtly threatened to tell people anyways. So OP had this to do. We broke up.
Thank you. The amount of red flags that we saw in like that first few sentences. Massive. Just a sea of red flags. A C. We're riding on Red Flag City.
Too many to count. Too many red flags. Read the hat. We are talking.
No.
And trying to see how we could make this work. Now, during the breakup, he told his parents that I broke up with him because he would not sign a non-disclosure agreement. He said it was because of one thing. I told him in confidence. He said this to a friend over a year ago. Not my concerns with his immaturity, anger, or threat. So I think at this point, he's just hinting at what the thing is.
He's hinting at what the thing is. And he's also flipping who broke up with who. He's like, I broke up with her because of something that I can't say.
Right. Yeah. I cannot disclose. Now he's going back to his parents' house this weekend to catch up and clarify the non-disclosure agreement conflict so they don't hate me. He said he's going to tell them everything so that way they have all the information to make an accurate judgment. He even wants to tell them about the stripping versus OnlyFans compromise and how I used to dance in college. I told him that I was not comfortable with him disclosing my dancing history.
Understandable.
That it would be a serious breach of my privacy. He is so insistent on telling them because he feels like he needs to tell them the truth, and anything less is lying.
You don't need to tell your parents about every blowjob you got. You know, like you don't need to have them all up in your business.
So I sat on the bed.
If I don't tell them what we do in bed, it'll be lying. It's like the same logic.
At 11:04 p.m., I sat on the bed and pulled down my pantaloons. We don't need that detail. I told him that I don't want to be in a position where people who already don't like me have yet another reason to judge me.
Totally fair.
I told him, if they ask you if you're uncomfortable with me doing OnlyFans, say that you're not enthralled, but that you support me. Focus on why I felt there was a need for an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and how bad our conflict management has been, and that we are seeking help for it.
You guys need a lot of help.
And that is the end of the final story. So
that's it? There's no more?
That is all.
Come on, there must be an update.
I'll check, but that is all she
wrote.
wrote.
The messiest one. It was for sure the messiest one. But I feel blue-balled a little bit right now. And I bet you guys feel blue-balled too, because like we didn't get the punctuation, you know?
Well, let's punctuate it ourselves. Every single person here watching, including Sam, should OP leave.
Yes. Also, girl, work on yourself for a little bit too. I don't know if you're ready for another relationship. This is messiness on both sides. I think more messiness on his side for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel there's a little messiness on both sides. I think OP needs to just be single for a lit, work on herself, stack that OnlyFans cash, and just take a breather.
Something ain't quite right. I
ain't
no
think
therapist.
Your partner having an OnlyFans is a red flag?
Look, I think it's a very hard thing to do.
It depends on your relationship style, I think.
I think it's like only a select few can take the gauntlet of the challenge of being ready for that. I think it is. I think it's possible. Do your thing, but it's hard. I don't think it's like a simple thing.
I would love to know from you guys, do you think having a OnlyFans is a red flag? Why or why not? Put your answers in the comments immediately. You know, we love you. And if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And we'll see you tomorrow.